Thanks for joining us today. This is the first event we're officially doing with one of our regional desk, in this case, Latin America. And as Doug was mentioning, the whole purpose is to to have some sort of a task force of members and executive directors, advisors who can help us develop a lot more the region. And that meaning, being there for our members, anyone who's interested in the region. So we have this group of people who are able to help us, and at the same time we expand our presence, the global chamber presence. So we started this year with the Latin American opportunities, and I invited some of our regional desk leaders to say a few words about the opportunities they're seeing in the region in terms of industry and countries and so forth. So I would like to first introduce you to Albert Paredes. Albert Paredes is our board chair in Global Chamber Costa Rica. He splits time between Miami and Costa Rica due to his business, and he can definitely explain a bit more about what he's doing and what opportunity he sees for the region. So thanks, Albert, for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for the invite, and thanks everybody for being here and kind of listening and having this conversation. Well, like Cesar said, right? I work on the technology side of things. I'm passionate about technology. I have a software development and nearshore outsourcing firm based out of Miami and Costa Rica. So all my clients are in the U.S., mostly in the financial industry, the trading and commodities and stock business, making products for those clients, right? But a lot of my experience has been in Costa Rica, Latin America, learning about the basically the different options that a technology company has in hiring engineering resources in the region. So I visited many countries in Latin America, did country studies in Colombia and Chile and Costa Rica, and was a country manager for a firm that made financial products and based out of Costa Rica. So that's my experience and my passion. And I wanted to talk about a trend that I'm seeing specifically related to what I'm most familiar with, which is technology, right, in Latin America. First of all, Latin America is a huge market, two biggest economies there. I mean, GDP is like $4.3 trillion US dollars in all of Latin America and the Caribbean, with Brazil and Mexico taking most of it, over 2 trillion, 1.3 in Brazil, and like $1 trillion in GDP in Mexico. But there are other countries like Colombia and Chile that also have a pretty good share. Costa Rica specifically is it's around $60 billion in GDP. But anyway, that's just to have an idea of the size of the economy there. Still, not as huge as the US and Asia, but it's a big piece of the economy, of the world economy now, right? And it's more, and it's becoming more and more relevant, right? So, but anyways, one of the things that I wanted to point out is, and if you look at a lot of the trends out there, especially, let's say, if you look at the visual capitalist, for example, that's just one side. The trend is for big tech to become bigger, right? And that's what I wanted to focus on. Big tech is going to become bigger. The companies that we have now are going to become bigger. There will be new players all over the place. And the one common thing that they have is that they need top quality engineers to be able to make those products and services work, right? So what is happening now, and the trend that I'm seeing specifically, is I'm seeing a lot of the big outsourcing companies out of India, overseas, right? Actually establishing or beginning to establish, and many have already established, nearshore centers in Latin America. So I see that as a big opportunity, both for qualified people, right, that live in these countries in Latin America, but also for companies that want to open up nearshore centers near the United States, which is, it has a lot of the consuming side of these companies, right? A lot of the outsourcing companies, they mainly cater to US clients, right? So that's one trend that I think it's important. I personally, I just made, through our company, we're gonna be, we made an alliance with a company based out of the U.S., Orlando and Pune, India, and we're gonna be serving as their Latin America nearshore outsourcing center. So that's just the trend, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, if you are passionate about technology, about engineering, and you have a startup maybe in the US, think about establishing a software development center in Latin America. It works, it pays, and you're basically going to find that there's a lot of qualified resources. Specifically in Costa Rica, last year, just to give you an example, and this is just a small chunk of Latin America, right, with 60 billion in GDP. In Costa Rica, there were 141 US companies that opened up or expanded, and all of these companies are requiring engineers to be able to work on their products and services for the US. So I think that's an opportunity for entrepreneurs in the US. It's an opportunity also. Costa Rica just implemented what they call a digital nomad visa. So if you are an engineer in the US, well, Costa Rica now can give you access to stay in the country for a minimum of 1 year, right? With renewable visas. So you can work out of there, not pay taxes in Costa Rica, as long as your clients are in the US. So there's opportunities on that side. And if you're interested in opening up shop in Costa Rica, well, that's one more thing that I also do. I help companies in the US open up in Costa Rica and connect them through with the government, with commercial real estate, with the free trade zone agreements, which is pretty good as well. So those are my 2 cents. I hope you guys can take advantage of the information. And if you have any questions, I'm always here available. You can contact me for sure.
Excellent, Albert. Thank you very much. I see a question coming from Susan Lindner.
Yes, definitely. And that's one thing that is funny because I see it a lot. There's a lot of marketing opportunities and marketing companies that are geared specifically to startups, right? To expand their products. And I'm sure, Susan, you have more experience there, but I see a lot. I get bombarded with agencies, and these are small agencies, right? Maybe a small moms, a small shop, and they have maybe less than 5 people. And what they do is they do help these companies with their client growth, and they do it at a very affordable entry level. They're not like the big marketing firms out of New York that will charge you an arm and a leg.
Oh, no, that's me. I plan to do that. Absolutely. Arms and legs. It's just a mom and mom shop. Just me. No pop needed.
There you go.
But I didn't know if it was specifically working with tech companies. I want to turn other, technology companies onto that opportunity, because a lot of people are thinking about Puerto Rico with, all of the tax related benefits. It's not getting a lot of publicity here to know that this is happening in Costa Rica.
Yeah, that is true. Thank you for that
comment.
Thank you.
Thanks, Susan. Anyone else have a question for Albert? And if not, then I will move. Thanks, Albert, again.
No problem.
I will move to our next presenter, Stephen Undert. Stephen is our global advisor for Ecuador, and his background is mainly in technology as well. So, Stephen, give us your 2 cents about the opportunities in the region. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Cesar. Well, one of the things that I just I've been looking at a lot lately is the Banco Mundial just released a study, and obviously as countries started recovering from COVID, there was a big surge in the economies last year throughout the region, throughout the whole world, which is expected to drop this year and next year. But there's still upwards of 3% and 4% growth expected in throughout most of Latin America. Colombia is one of the hot spots as well, that with a lot of growth. So that's kind of encouraging that there's a lot of growth still expected over the next couple of years. One of the things that's interesting is there's in Ecuador, there's after the rebound last year, there's a lot of recovery. But there's also still a lot of gaps. The labor market has not recovered to pre-pandemic levels yet. So there's a lot of labor availability throughout the region, especially in Ecuador. Ecuador's reduced their IVA tax for the next couple months. There's a couple different times during the year they're reducing the tax to try and spur the economy a little bit more. And other parts of the region are also struggling with high inflation. So there's things that we need to pay attention to and keep an eye on. But one of the exciting things that I've just read in the last week or so is there was a acuerdo comercial agreement between Chile and Ecuador, which has been signed by both countries and is the first step to being part of the Alianza del Pacífico, big trade bloc, which will open up a lot of new opportunities for Ecuador if they get into that, freeing up trade throughout the region. And lastly, I'm sure most of us, at least those of us in technology, have heard about things like El Salvador deciding to accept Bitcoin as an official currency late last year. And that kind of technology is going to spur the economy, especially for where Bitcoin is an opportunity for people who are, in a lot of cases, underbanked. And with just a cell phone, they can access their funds in ways that can be more flexible and more powerful for them. So real quick flyby, that's the technology is like Albert, my area of focus as well. And I'm always in touch with people throughout the region, especially in Ecuador, that are working in the IT world. I spent time traveling throughout working with IT companies, and would be happy to help anybody that needs some pointers or introductions in the region for companies to help with IT.
I have a quick question for Stephen.
Yeah.
If I may. In terms of engineering resources, are you seeing availability of resources there? Are most people working already? Is there a market for it? Let's say if I wanted to go and recruit people out of Ecuador.
Yeah, in Ecuador, there's always been a very good educational system. Just a little side note about me, I grew up in Ecuador, and when I came back to the US for my senior year of high school, I needed to take tests to prove I was capable of handling the workload of a senior in high school here. And I could have tested out of every subject except for English, where I was on the edge with a couple weeks of tutoring. I could have tested out of my entire senior year. So I was far advanced. The educational system is outstanding.
Excellent. Is there a region in Ecuador where where you can find the higher concentration of engineers? Is it the capital city in Quito?
Yeah, Quito has a big concentration. Guayaquil has a lot of business, especially in the banking and logistics, transportation sectors. But for lifestyle, Cuenca is always on the list of top places for American expatriates to retire.
Cuenca, that's interesting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question.
Thanks. Sorry, I was having internet trouble here, but before moving to Ricardo, I wanted to ask Albert and Stephen about tourism, because I know both Costa Rica and Ecuador are pretty big in tourism. How do you see that coming for, post-pandemic, and how is it right now?
Well, go ahead.
Go ahead, Stephen.
In Ecuador right now, they're still struggling to get COVID under control, and there's mandatory masks, mandatory vaccination, and they're keeping an eye on the numbers like they are in the U.S. as far as yellow, green, and red. And in red conditions, certain businesses have to be closed. In yellow, they have to be reduced capacity. So they're on a daily basis monitoring that throughout the country. And by all signs that I'm seeing from around the world, that I think that those measures will continue to take effect and as the cases drop and that ends up being a COVID green status throughout the country, tourism will begin to pick up very rapidly.
I agree with Steven also. Same thing is happening in Costa Rica. There's a lot of cases. What I see is funny because they're like 2 weeks behind Miami. So I kind of know what's going to happen next. They already started lifting the restrictions because you have restrictions on how much you can drive actually on the streets and things like that. So those are going to go away, I'm pretty sure. But what I've seen happening in the tourism is there's a flourishing of small little boutique hotels and glamping, a lot of glamping options. I mean, I was actually 2 weeks ago, I was lucky enough to be in the mountains of Nicoya, one of the blue zones in Costa Rica. And glamping is really glamping. I mean, it's beautiful. You're in the middle of the forest, but you have all the commodities of a huge, resort. So the trend is smaller places, smaller resorts. I see a lot of expats owning or opening up businesses with small boutique hotels, and they're a hit because you don't see a lot of people, you barely see people around you, and yet the experience is awesome. So I think that trend is going to continue there for sure.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, that's what I heard from, we have a member in India focusing on tourism, and that's exactly what I've heard. Doug, do you have a question?
I do. I wonder, and maybe other speakers can address this. Could you talk about the cannabis market? Given that it's opening up in different parts of the world, is it active in these countries, and how would you characterize it generally in terms of the opportunities we could consider?
For Costa Rica, just yesterday actually, or the day before yesterday, they approved cannabis production and consumption for medical use. So I would say within the next couple of years, it'll probably be legalized in Costa Rica.
Fantastic.
And as far as Ecuador goes, I'm not aware of any current changes right now in that market. So
changes from what?
As in legalizing it.
I see. Okay, so it's not that there's no opportunity there. Okay,
I'm not aware of it.
Got it.
I think a big leader is Uruguay, and that takes us to the far south of the continent. And I would like to take the opportunity and introduce Ricardo Vanella, our global advisor in Buenos Aires, which happens to have very good connections in Uruguay as well. Ricardo, maybe you know more about the cannabis industry there in the region.
Yeah, thank you, Cesar and Doug, and it's a pleasure for me to be here. Yes, Uruguay is let's say that they are leading in the region, in the South Cone, they are leading the cannabis business, but still it is not big enough, I think. In Argentina is growing up as well. The production of medical cannabis is legalized. And I think that both Uruguay, again, which is leading the business, and Argentina, they are going to be, I think, good suppliers, potential suppliers in the future. For the time being, from my experience, quality, the top quality comes from Canada, which is the top quality producer in the world. And then in the trading realm, we can see Israel, which I think they are trying to get the most parts of the market, the international market, in broker terms. Germany and Switzerland, they're buyers of quality for pharma use, but still export import of cannabis is not very clear yet in the law systems worldwide. Even if cannabis is in some countries is legalized, laws are not very clear, and sometimes they are even contradictory. That said, I think it's a business that is going to grow up worldwide. First, medical in the medical use, and then I think they are going to open everything, as the alcohol. That's my humble opinion, but I think so. It's going to be a good business. For the time being, it's a small business. There are a lot of production and there's the demand for pharma is very specific. There is a production. Quality has to be found in some countries, and laws are not very clear yet. If you allow me, I would like to tell you that I've been in contact with Global Chamber in working with Doug and Cesar, and for perhaps almost 10 years now. And something that I would like to emphasize is that Global Chamber services work. They are good, because I did business through Global Chamber, and some customers of mine, they did business through Global Chamber. So I'm not talking about something that perhaps can happen. I'm talking that I am a witness that Global Chamber services work very well, and concretely, and in a very physical, real, tangible way. That said, I am in Argentina, in Buenos Aires. I am in business development. I've been in this for more than 30 years already. Business development, strategy, strategic positioning, marketing, strategic communications, and citizen diplomacy, which is the sort of one-to-one diplomacy in the realm of, I am attorney at law, MBA, and some other things, but I am a U.S. Department of State alumnus and in National Defense University alumnus. So what we can provide from our regional desk here is some good overviews and concrete access to whatever you can or whatever you want to do in these countries. When I say countries, it's Argentina, of course, Uruguay, Paraguay, South Cone, Chile. I saw that Stephen has access to Chile through their agreement with Ecuador. Ecuador, a lovely country. Costa Rica, another lovely country. But here in the South Cone, we have very different situations between the countries I mentioned. Uruguay is very stable, is a small market, very stable. Argentina is bigger, is the second economy in the South Cone, but we are dealing with the International Monetary Fund. It's like a marriage, long-term marriage from centuries, dealing with, and sometimes you are good, sometimes you are not very good. It's like a marriage. So now is a discussion period. Whatever happens, I think that, very honestly talking, I think that Argentina is one of the main food providers in the world. And that's Argentina mainly. Even if perhaps Albert can, perhaps no, for sure he can talk more than myself about Mercado Libre, which is the biggest e-commerce platform in Latin America, and it comes from Argentina. But besides that, I am not specialist in e-commerce, but I think that the food industry is still a good business in Argentina and from Argentina. When I said food, of course, I am talking about agriculture as well, and all the activities related to farming and producing beef and etc. and poultry, etc. And of course, there are some opportunities in the oil industry. I'm talking about commodities here, but we have a very big production of oil and shale gas in the south of the country, which is the second reserve in the world, and the second reserve of lithium in the north. So, and lithium, for sure, you know very well, and you're aware about that change in this strategic change in energy from oil to electricity. It's not going to lack of huge challenges, because the industry is going to use huge quantities of minerals for producing everything they need. So we are going to find the world again in some years discussing and shouting about destruction of, instead of oil, we are going to get into a mess again. That's very common in human beings. We are going to get into another mess, which is minerals. However, forget the mess, but we have both oil and those minerals. So that can be an opportunity as well. Another thing, a very curious thing, is that when countries, for some problems they become cheap because inflation, because of devaluation, as in Argentina happened, they become, and taking into consideration that we have a very good education system, we have a very good health system here, very good one. That's another business of another realm for business, health, telemedicine, etc. And we have a good infrastructure. So for people, and then you, Albert, mentioned that. No, sorry, Stephen, he mentioned for expats, retired people, who looking for their money to be worthy or more worth, I mean, that than in the US or in other countries or in Europe. Well, Argentina has those opportunities as well. You can find, I mean, for a third of the coast of, or even less, you can have than in the US, for example, you can have something at the same level in terms of housing, in terms of surrounding, I mean, environment, in terms of everything in Argentina. So I think that's a good, it's curious, but it's a good opportunity.
Excellent. So Ricardo, actually, I want to add in terms of retirees. I was sure recently the list of top places, top 10 places to retire, and I think Latin America was like in 7 of them. So Costa Rica was in a really good position. Panama was top. I just wanted to add that Costa Rica was 3rd, I believe. So that's
a lot of expats there. Yeah, just wanted to add a comment to Ricardo's words. Thank you, Ricardo. When you mentioned lithium, my eyes just lit up right there, because there's going to be a huge demand. There is already a huge demand on lithium, and it's very difficult to extract. I'm not a mining expert, but I'm sure I heard people talk about it and read about it. It's very difficult to extract, and there's a lot of controversy around that. But as far as governments allowing, US companies or other companies to come into the country and mine for lithium. But it's a huge opportunities. And with the growth of technologies, you know, with solar, everything, you still need batteries, and the batteries, lithium batteries, at least for now, are like the top, you know, the top choice. So great opportunities, I'm sure, are gonna come to Argentina if they can manage to be able to mine all that lithium that they have.
Thank you, Albert. Yeah, I mean, indeed, they are huge investments of in this field in the northern side of the country. Yeah, and then they're huge. I mean, and you have between Bolivia and Argentina, I think you have perhaps the 70% of the lithium. Something like that. I mean, it's something out of mind. Gabriela Castro asks, how is the law regarding lithium in other countries? I mean, they are extracting lithium, but they are not, the information is not shared, you know, because there are huge interests. So there's a lot of money, and there are not highways to get into the lithium business. It's like any huge business anyway in the world, and perhaps along the story of humankind. If it's a really very strategic, huge, big business, there are no highways. You need the know-how and the know-who. But we can find, I mean, that's why we are a regional desk.
Exactly. Ricardo, I want to thank you again, and thanks Stephen and Albert, who are part of our regional desk. And I think, Ricardo, you summarized very well what the regional desk is trying to achieve on helping our members discover more opportunities in Latin America. I would like to jump now to some quick intros from our team in Mexico. And Gabriela, now that you asked the question and you're the expert in mining, I wanted to see if you have, I mean, for a minute, if you have a couple of information to share about it with us.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much, Cesar. And yeah, I work a lot in the mining sector. I have more than 10 years of experience in North America, Mexico, the US, and Canada. And yeah, the lithium is getting big. There are big deposits in the Americas. The thing in Mexico is that government is considering expropriate the lithium business in Mexico. They are talking about that. We don't know if it will happen. But anyway, there are opportunities. Government is not gonna exploit it. They won't hire someone to do it. So there are opportunities there. There are many opportunities in mining in Mexico, and maybe my colleagues, and maybe we can work together on that.
Perfect. Thank you, Gabriela. And Gabriela is our executive director in Global Chamber Querétaro in Central Mexico. Then I would like to invite Indira Jeffrey. Indira, you still there? No, I don't see Indira. So then let's jump to Christian Aguigare from Hermosillo, Northern Mexico. Christian, are you there?
Hey, Cesar. Hey, everyone. Great to be joining you here. Yes, I would like to talk a little bit about what is going on in Mexico, especially. Well, thank you, Gabriela, for talking about the mining sector, which is growing incredibly. Mining definitely is not my specialty, but some of the members we have, like Tetakawi and Collectron, these are shelter groups, and they've been noticing a large growth in their production, in bringing companies from the US and other places of the world into Mexico and taking advantage of the free treaty agreements that we have going on. And also, we've seen the situation with Asia now, the difficulties that are still there with transportation, cargo, shipping containers, etc. So Mexico is also becoming an interesting proposal to support these logistics situations. Of course, we know that at some point things might go back to normal, but now there are still some difficulties with logistics, transportation, and this is a great opportunity to look at Mexico to support any productive needs. So thank you. That's what I wanted to add.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Christian. Executive Director in Hermosillo, Northern Mexico. And then I think if there are any questions or anyone wants to comment on the topics we just covered, feel free to do it now, because then we want to jump into a fireside round of introduction. So Doug, do you have a question?
Just a quick question, and maybe it's mainly to Christian, regarding Mexico. With this reshoring going on, yesterday as an example, I'll weave you into this conversation, but a new member basically said, I want to produce a product in Mexico and not in China. So that's certainly an opportunity, but for anybody manufacturing in Mexico could make sense, probably makes sense. That's certainly an opportunity. Are there other opportunities that investors or business people should think about regarding that issue on reshoring or other dynamics around a global flow of production?
Well, definitely Mexico is a country to consider, not only in material wise, like for construction or for automotive, aerospace, but also I would like to add as food industry. Food industry, there's a huge opportunity there where there are high quality food industry products being processed or created in Mexico that could definitely be very, very competitive in the US and Canadian markets, for example. And such example has been what we've been living with the products such as True Salt, the salt we've been exporting into the United States with really, really high quality standards and at a very, very competitive price. So that has been an interesting situation. And then we get other asks, like to source other types of products in Mexico. Right now I'm working in sourcing for a pepper company, sourcing chiles and sourcing other types of products. So I mean, it's something to think about. There are really a high quantity of high quality products in Mexico, food manufactured or simply from earth. And that's a huge opportunity to consider. If you are sourcing products from outer seas or even sometimes in the United States, and you wanna try other opportunities or other combine maybe what you're already sourcing with another source, Mexico is an opportunity there, of course. And the rest of Latin America, I gotta say the same. We all produce as this unity, LatAm, great high quality products in every matter, and you just need to find the right context, which sometimes Global Chamber can help you with that, so you can source those materials. Thank you.
Thanks again, Christian. Albert, are you going to say something?
Yeah, just wanted to add that Costa Rica smart manufacturing is growing a lot, especially around the medical devices industry. So that's the #1 export right now from Costa Rica. So a lot of very good opportunities. The free trade zone agreements, especially outside the what they call the metropolitan area, is very, very good in terms of taxes. There's a lot of growth there. So take a look at that also as an option. And it's with Costa Rica, the way the country operates investment from the outside, it's a turnkey solution. I mean, you're up and running, at least on the legal and everything side, in 3 months. And then it's just, if you want to move into an already existing facility, so if you want to build your own, but it's very quick and easy to do, for sure.
May I ask a question?
Sure, Ricardo, go ahead.
I mean, it's a question, but a reflection that what Christian Aguirre said before, which is super interesting. I mean, they are talking with Albert about outsourcing, and for sure Mexico has Mexico. It's a huge country, and with a huge story and a huge everything. And I understand that today, for example, due to the COVID, etc., we are working a lot at distance in a virtual way. So perhaps there is something that we could do in terms of finding people to do things at distance. For example, something that Albert mentioned at the beginning, but perhaps we can organize that as a human resources, agency or something like that. Because I know a lot of guys here, young guys mainly, who are working and earning a lot of money, working for US companies, mainly for European companies. For example, developing apps in the digital realm mainly. And I think that perhaps we could think about something, I mean, more organized, more structured in offering as a service to big companies. And Albert knows much better, of course, than me. Perhaps we can create a proactive offer to some companies if we have the human resources. I don't know. There are already some agencies doing this, but they are not very, very numerous. They are not a lot.
It's becoming easier and easier to hire remotely from a single location. And, I initially I was focusing only on Costa Rica, but now I have partners in Argentina and other countries. But now it's becoming even easier because now there's applications that you can use. For example, there's one called On Top, where let's say you want to hire somebody in Argentina, right? Through that application, you hire the person, you go through all the legal paperwork, you get the payments, to the employee, and you get the labor and the contracts completed all in one shop. So it's still, it has some quirks in the system, but it's going to become easier and easier to do that and offer, human resources as a service type of app. But it's getting there. It will get there, Ricardo. And I think, yeah, we need to be positioned to take advantage of that for sure.
Excellent. Thanks everyone. We got 10 minutes and I'm gonna still want to do the fire chat introduction. So I'm gonna give anyone who's interested to reintroduce themselves. Or let's give it 20 seconds to say who you are and what you do, and then we can complete the session. So I would like to start with Susan Lindner. Susan, if you have 20 seconds to introduce yourself, that would be great.
I'm Susan Lindner. I'm the innovation storyteller. So I work with Fortune 500 companies and their innovation teams. So heads of innovation, chief innovation officers, product managers, and also user experience or customer experience teams to help them tell the stories of their innovation. Most innovators are great at innovating, awful at talking about it. And I help them with their billion-dollar conversations to get the resources and the runway and the recognition that they deserve.
Perfect, Susan. Amazing. And you have experience in Costa Rica as well.
Oh, my heart is still there. I can't let it go.
Thanks for joining us today. Let's move to Monica Varas from Varas Insurance. Monica, 20 seconds.
Thank you, Cesar. Again, my name is Monica Varas. My company is Varas Insurance Brokerage. We are an insurance brokerage dealing with commercial and international insurance products. We develop and strategically find solutions through insurance and financial products for companies with, again, with international exposure, especially the companies that are doing business with the United States, Latin America, or Asia. Right now, we have 7 different partners in Asia, including Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and Singapore.
Okay.
And
Monica,
for the past 2 years,
move
we have
forward
been working
with
with
the
the
next
US
one. Sorry.
commerce.
Okay, thank you, Monica.
Thanks.
Let's move to Fernando Cevallos. Fernando is a new member, brand new member of the Global Chamber. Fernando, if you can introduce yourself in 20 seconds, that would be great.
Sure, I just joined last week. Hello, everybody. I'm the head and the founder of FNC Consulting Group. We're a firm that's dedicated to provide integrity consulting services. In a few words, we fight against bribery and corruption through forensic investigations, internal investigations, and compliance, and information security. So anybody and all companies require our services. We operate in 12 countries today, especially in the US, Latin America, Africa, India, and Asia Pacific. So happy to be on board, and more to be told in the next meetings.
Where are you, Fernando? Where are you?
I'm from Ecuador, but I'm based in Mexico City now.
Thank you.
But I was born and raised in Guayaquil, and been living 17 years abroad in different countries.
Thank you, Fernando. Michael Quigley from the UK. Michael, 20 seconds.
I won't need 20 seconds. I just want to say muchas gracias to all the speakers. I have clients in Latin America, and understanding Latin American culture and what's going on is really, really important to me. Started speaking Spanish, and it's just been a love of mine. It's been really, really insightful to get your experience. I do online training. It's not about me today, so I just want to say thank you very, very much. Really, really helpful and very insightful. Thank you.
You have a big announcement, though, on your podcast, don't you, regarding Spanish?
Yeah, el podcast que hablas en español, capítulo 1 es aquí. I challenged myself to start doing a podcast in Spanish, and I've done the first episode and put it out today around the world. So you can check it out if you want to.
It's amazing. Congratulations on that, Michael.
Thank you.
Kevin Paulson. Kevin, go ahead, 20 seconds. Thanks for joining us today. Oh, we can. Okay, no, we cannot hear you. Yeah, let's try it. There we go. Kim Bienyo from the DC chapter. Kim, 20 seconds. Oh, you're on mute.
Hi, everyone. My pleasure to meet you all. My name is Kim Viet Ngo. I'm a broker, and also I'm the consultant business, especially in food industry. I love to work with all like Latino or North America, because I know right now a lot of struggle from China and Vietnam is the potential. And I'm so happy to meet you all. I really looking for the food products, and I import export. So I did it for like many years. And then yesterday I just attended to the Maryland of the port. And I know that in America right now, because yesterday I attended with the World Trade Center, they have representative for the transportation, maritime transportation, all kind like very high. And then they work on the logistics, and then they ask us be aware with supply chains. So I just let you know about that.
Thank you.
Everything is changing after COVID. The traditional before, my company for 10 years, 15 years, 100 years, and now everything is changing. So be aware of that. Thank you
very
all.
much, Kim. Then, Kevin, are you there? No, there's a problem with your audio. Yeah. Elliot Pineda, Elliot from BI Inform in Hermosillo. Elliot, 20 seconds, please.
Thank you. We are an IT company. We are Microsoft partner network, and specialists in Microsoft Azure and SharePoint and Office 365. And we work from Mexico, United States, and Canada. So thanks, everyone. And if you need some IT help, we are here to support you.
Thank you.
Excellent. Speaking of IT, thanks, Elliot. And then Eduardo Gonzalez from 258 Manufacturing. Eduardo, 20 seconds.
Sure. Thank you, Cesar. So I'm Mexican. I live in Phoenix. Like Phoenix, Arizona has 3% of the population, or close to 40% of the population are Mexican. So I'm based out of Phoenix in Arizona. What I do is I help companies locate contract manufacturing options in Mexico. And I'm pretty interested in contacting contract manufacturers in Latin America. So we help basically companies that want to nearshore their operation, especially assembly, manufacturing, or even providing any services like software development, call centers, and all of that. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity, Cesar.
Perfect. Thank you, Eduardo. What about the team from the Port of LA? I see two people, I believe. Abigail, and I think there was Ms. Caraballo around as well. If any of you want to speak.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Charmaine Martin with the Port of Los Angeles. I'm a trade manager with trade development, and we have a program, Trade Connect program, and we offer seminars that assist business owners with importing and exporting. It's a pleasure to be with everyone this morning.
Thank you very much, Charmaine. Let's move to Mona, a contractor from Mumbai. Mona, 20 seconds, please.
Hi, Cesar. Sorry for not keeping my video on today as I'm just returning home. This is Mona from Mumbai, and I'm into international travel as well as which is luxury travel. And my other business is food production. So anybody interested in Indian food, we can provide that. And if you want to manufacture your own line of products, our factory is there to help you. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And it was great hearing from all the speakers from Latin America. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mona. Imtiaz Ahmed from Bangladesh. Imtiaz, are you there? And if not, they've moved to Ernie Watts. Ernie, are you able to say a few words?
Hey, Cesar, and good morning, everybody on the call. Great to see everyone. Ernie Watts, I'm a global advisor here in Chicago at the Global Chamber. I just want to sort of build on what Ricardo said quickly, and I'm glad he mentioned Mercado Libre and e-commerce. I'm sure most of you are aware, but the pandemic has been a real accelerant to e-commerce growth throughout the region. I'm working with several clients right now who are building their presence in the region online almost exclusively. And I would just caution those on the call, particularly if you're an exporter or manufacturer, to apply the same focus and discipline to building your online channels that you do your brick and mortar channels. And if you have questions about that or want to talk about it, you can reach me through the Global Chamber Chicago website. Buen día a todos. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you, Ernie. Larry Hart from Global Chamber Cincinnati. Larry.
Well, hey guys, good to see so many friends on here and a bunch of new faces too. Elliot, I was just looking you up on LinkedIn and I forgot that we had connected once upon a time. So anyway, good seeing y'all. I think today I'll mention, I was on the phone earlier with Kim Richards and Stephen, I've mentioned her to you before, but she runs a nursing company in Medellin, Colombia, and is looking to expand that here this year. She's had some health stuff and COVID crap and whatever last year, but she's really excited about the upcoming year. So just a heads up for some of you all, maybe reaching out and seeing kind of who you know, who you might want to help. She's really into the women's leadership thing. She's really into the young global thing because she's a professor here in Cincinnati. She just happens to be living in Colombia now for some medical treatment reasons. So anyway, super, super neat lady. And I look forward to reaching out to a handful of you over time here to help you, to help her meet you all. Cool.
Thank you, Larry.
Yeah,
Max Garnica from Texi. 20 seconds.
Hi, everyone.
Max.
I'm Maximiliano Garnica. I'm representing Texi, which is a software factory company. We focus on agile stuff, you know, portfolio and agile and all that kind of stuff. We have a big purpose behind. We help the people from rural communities. We train the people, young people, and then hire them and put them to make some projects. We have been working with Lala, Sport City, Nissan, Pick Up, and many companies here in Mexico. So glad to be here and nice to meet you all.
Thanks, Max. You work directly with Donahi Montes, and I think many of us here know Donahi. So thanks. And Gabriela Morales.
Hi, thank you, and good morning. Thank you, Cesar. My name is Gaby Morales. I'm the Trade Commissioner of Guatemala here in New York, and it will be a pleasure to know more about your companies and to share with you a lot of trade and investment opportunities in our country. Good to see you.
Excellent. Thank you, Gaby. Looking forward to learning more about Guatemala in the future.
Thank you, Cesar. Bye.
Edward Kam. Edward, do you have 20 seconds?
Hi, Cesar. How are you? Oh, well, my name is Edward Kam, and I'm a global MBA. As I have a lot of experience in the access control industry, and I'm just looking out to see what's going on in the global chamber community, and if you guys have any questions about projects involving automation of access points, whether vehicular or pedestrian or something of that sort, I'm a resource available.
Excellent. Thank you, Edward. Ruby Golo from our chapter in Accra, Ghana. Ruby, do you have a second?
Hi, everyone. I'm sorry I'm unable to on my video, but I'm based in Accra, Ghana, and we help matchmake foreign companies looking to connect with local businesses here. So anyone interested in Africa or Ghana in particular, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Ruby. Vilma Lopez? Not? Okay.
Yes, I'm here. How are you? Good morning.
Thanks.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Vilma Lopez. I am a real estate broker in Florida. I am an international trainer for the Association of Realtors, the National Association of Realtors. I trained in South America, Latin America, and I work with international buyers. It's an important area in Florida because there are many international buyers coming. And many people think all the realtors know how to work with them. And unfortunately, it's not correct. So I am training for international realtors, working with international buyers and also locals. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Vilma. Amarilis Cruz.
Hi, everyone. So I am in charge of international sales, specifically Latin America for Purienco, which we sell personal care products. I'm also one of those nomads. So travel around and just live around Central South America and always interested in opportunities and what's happening in the markets.
Excellent. Thank you, Marilis. And Raul Avila? Not. Let's give it a chance again to Kevin. Kevin, were you able to fix your audio issue?
Oh, is it working?
Yes, perfect. Excellent.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Cesar. Yeah, very much similar to Monica there, that I'm an insurance broker, but why I differ is that I'm based in London, England, and we just access Lloyd's. So very similar to what Monica does. We just use Lloyd's of London as our insurers.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kevin. Flavia? Oh, you're on mute, Flavia.
Oops. Hi, everyone. I'm Flavia. I'm based in Brazil, but I work for Elements. It's an American company, and we help our clients to hire people everywhere. So we have entities and HR in more than 160 countries, and we help them to expand and start their business in different countries. Thank you.
Excellent. Bienvenida, Flavia.
Thank you.
And last, Terry Lavine. And Terry is not available. I think, am I missing someone? I think we went through all of you. And if not, then I think we went over a little bit, but I think it was worth it. It was great to learn a little bit about all of you. Doug, do you have a couple of words to say?
Oh, just very inspiring. Thank you, Cesar, for pulling this together. Thank you to the leaders who from across Latin America that really created an engaging and informative and educational session on the different markets. So we look to do this on a monthly basis with different regions around the world. So please jump in when you can. the world is open to our opportunity, and through the Trusted Global Tribe, it makes it a little bit easier. So Cesar, thank you for putting this together. And again, thank you everybody for speaking and also participating today.
Yep, and thanks to the regional desk leader for their inputs. I think there's a lot of things, tech, food, cannabis, mining. There were a couple. We're gonna make a summary of the discussion and share with all of you. And we invite you to join us in 2 hours. We have our global dining / lunch, and we're gonna be talking about Spain. So whoever's interested, feel free to join us. And thanks again, everyone.
Great job, Cesar. Good to see
Bye-bye.
everybody.
See you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.